Have you ever sat down with a book and noticed the words swimming on the page like they're playing hide and seek with your eyes? Or maybe, when night falls, you suddenly realize that those street lights outside your window are blurring, hallowing, glowing in a way they didn't last year? If you're between 45 and 90, you might have chalked it up to aging. Just one more thing we're supposed to accept quietly, but here's something you need to hear, and you won't hear it from every doctor's office. Your eyes might be aging, yes, but you have more control than you think. Not with pills, not with expensive treatments, but with a change so simple, so natural, it's probably in your kitchen already. And you're going to find out exactly what that is and how to use it, not in vague theories, but in ways that real people like you in their 50s, 60s, 70s, even 80s are using every single day to reclaim clear, confident night-hand day vision. This isn't a scare story. It's not a miracle cure either. This is a journey, and it starts right here, right now. So don't blink, don't scroll. Dan, skip to the end, because the answers you've been searching for might be one fruit away, one recipe away, one morning routine away. And what if I told you the most powerful part isn't what you add but what you stop ignoring? You've heard you are what you eat, but have you ever heard you see what you eat? Well, you're about to. Let's begin. Let me tell you something real. This isn't theory. This isn't AI chatter. And it's definitely not one of those auto-generated slideshows we all skip past. This is something I lived. My own father, a proud 72-year-old who swore by his morning walks and crossword puzzles, suddenly found himself avoiding the wheel after dark. "I just can't see the signs," he told me one night, quietly embarrassed. That shook me. Not because he was scared, but because he thought it was normal. Like age meant surrender. But here's what happened next. We didn't rush into surgery, and we didn't pile up supplements. We made a grocery list. We started simple berries, some old-school herbs my grandmother used to steep into tea, or one tropical fruit that even I hadn't heard of until I did the digging. 3 weeks later, his confidence came back. 2 months, he was back behind the wheel. Was it magic? No. Was it overnight? Definitely not. But it was real. Because when you feed your eyes the way nature intended, they remember how to serve you. That's why I'm sharing this not as a lecture, not as medical advice, but as something that changed a family I love. It could change yours too. And along the way, I'll back every tip with what the science says, not what trends say. Because we're not here for empty promises. We're here for results you can feel, see, and trust. Now let's be crystal clear. This video is not about diagnosing, treating, or curing anything. I am not your doctor, and this is not a substitute for medical advice. Why should you keep watching? Because even though we can make bold claims about reversing cataracts or fixing your eyes overnight, we can talk about what real studies done by real scientists have found when it comes to nutrition and eye function. See, your eyes aren't just passive lenses. They're living tissue alive, reacting every day to what you feed them, expose them to, or neglect. And decades of research, not hearsay, not influencer hype, have shown that certain fruits and nutrients may reduce oxidative stress, improve blood flow to the retina, and support the long-term resilience of your vision. That's not cure talk. That's care talk. So when we mention a fruit like rosehip, for example, and say it's linked to supporting collagen in eye tissue, we're quoting science, not stretching truth. That's the difference between helpful and harmful. And that's the promise of this video. To give you powerful, inspiring, and accurate tools to take better care of the eyes you already have. Not sell you on fantasy. Because your vision deserves honesty, and that starts now. Let's pause here, just for a second. Not to pitch you, not to talk at you, but to talk with you. You who may be watching this from a phone you hold farther away than you used to. You who might be wondering why the words on a screen feel fuzzier at night than they did last year. You who used to drive confidently after sunset, but now hesitate. This video is for you, not the 20-year-old biohacker looking for a six-pack. You've lived through more, seen more, and earned the right to care for your body with wisdom, not gimmicks. And that's what we're going to do today. Together, no lectures. No jargon, just real steps you can take, foods you can add, and habits you can shift. Because your age doesn't disqualify you from great eyesight. In fact, it gives you the reason to protect it more fiercely than ever. And if you've been told to just accept it, I'm here to remind you. Age is not defeat, it's data. Your body is still listening. So let's give it something worth responding to. Let's make every bite count. Let's rediscover the joy of reading without squinting, driving without fear, and waking up to a world that's vivid, not faded. This isn't about fighting age. It's about aging forward with eyes wide open. All right, here's where it gets juicy. If you've ever watched a video and felt like it rambled with no clear path, that ends right now. Because we re-break this journey into 5 chapters, think of them as 5 vision-saving secrets, each built around a fruit you can find, to taste, and fall in love with. And each one is more than a name and a benefit. It's a story, a purpose, a piece of the puzzle. Secret number 1 is the berry you already know, but don't use enough like the night vision switch your eyes have been waiting for. Secret number 2 is the flower fruit no one talks about, yet it outpaces oranges and vitamin C by a mile. Secret number 3, a picnic favorite hiding a medical-grade antioxidant in plain sight. And the last 2, let's just say you've probably seen them at a farmer's market, walked right past them, and had no idea what they were capable of. Each chapter will give you real, practical tips, not drink this smoothie and be cured, but how to realistically enjoy these fruits daily, even on a budget, even with dental concerns, even if you're not into cooking. Plus, we'll show you how to combine them for even more benefit. Every secret leads into the next. So you'll want to stay till the end, not because I'm asking, but because your eyes deserve it. And trust me, secret number 5. You won't see it coming. Let's dive into the first one. Before we get into the next fruitan, trust me, ULL. Want to have a pen ready? I want you to ask yourself a question. Something you can buy for just a couple dollars? Something that doesn't just help your eyes, but actually supports blood flow to the retina and reduces the very oxidative stress linked with blurry, aging vision. Sound too simple? That's the trap. Most of us wait for big symptoms, big problems, and by the time they come, our options are limited. But if you stay with me, I'll show you what small daily habits, not pills, surgery, can gently guide your vision back to clarity, naturally. Because later in this video, I'll reveal one little-known fruit that's not just high in antioxidants, it's shaped like a heart. Your eyes love it just as much as your arteries do. Stay tuned, because after our next tip, I'm going to show you how that fruit, combined with a daily drink you already enjoyed, can become a vision-supporting powerhouse. But that only works if you know how to prepare it right, and most people get it wrong. Let's not miss that. Let's stay sharp, together. I want to take a second and hear from you. Seriously. If you're over 45 or 55, or even rocking your 80s with pride, tell us in the comments below. What is your biggest eye frustration right now? Is it night driving? Reading menus in dim restaurants? Seeing your phone without holding it a mile away? Your story might be the one that helps someone else feel less alone. And if your eyes are still going strong, first of all, congrats. That's amazing. Let us know what you're doing right. What's your secret? Because this isn't just a video, it's a community. And we learn better when we learn together. So pause for 5 seconds. Drop your age and one thing you've noticed changing in your vision lately. The more we share, the more useful this video becomes for someone else scrolling by, wondering if they're the only one seeing a little blur, a little haze. You're not alone. And your comment might just be the nudge someone needs to pay attention before it's too late. Let's light up that comment section with honesty, with action, and with real conversation from real people who care about seeing clearly for the years ahead. Let me share a quick story I got from a viewer last month. Her name's Angela, and she's 68, living in Florida. She wrote in, after trying one of the fruits we're about to talk about, and I'll be honest, it made my day. Angela had been struggling with foggy vision for months. Not severe, just enough to feel like the world was slowly losing contrast. Her doctor told her she was just getting older. But instead of giving up, she added 1 cup of berries to her breakfast 3 times a week. That's it. No massive overhaul. It's no new gym plan. It's just fruit and patience. And after a few weeks, she messaged me to say her eyes felt lighter, not perfect, but clearer, more relaxed, especially in the evenings. Look, this isn't a clinical trial. It's one woman's story. But it's also proof that when we give our bodies the nutrients they're re-asking for, they notice. If you're skeptical, good you should be. We don't promote magic here. But if you're open, even a little, to the idea that small daily choices can build into lifelong change, then Angela's story might be the start of yours too. Keep listening, your next step could be just seconds away. You don't have to take my word for it, Tan, honestly, you shouldn't. So in a moment, I'll share what an actual nutritionist told us when we asked. If you could recommend just one fruit for people over 60 worried about their vision, what would it be? Her answer surprised me, not because I hadn't heard of the fruit, but because of why she chose it. According to her, it wasn't just about vitamins, it was about absorption, inflammation control, and how the body handles oxidative stress differently as we age. She broke down how vitamin C works differently in a 25-year-old body than in a 75-year-old one, and how combining it with certain natural fibers found in just one fruit can make it up to 4 times more bioavailable. We'll roll that clip shortly, and you'll hear her explain it in plain language. Hearing it from someone who spent years studying nutrition for aging adults, it's different than a slideshow or a listicle. That's what makes this video more than just information. It's education with credibility. So stay tuned for that expert insight. And in the meantime, grab a notebook. You'll want to remember what she says next. Let me ask you something. How many screens have you looked at today? Be honest, your phone, your TV, maybe your tablet or your laptop. For most people over 45, it adds up faster than they think, especially if you're retired and checking the news, watching grandkids' videos, or just browsing for recipes. Now think about this. Every one of those screens emits blue light. And while blue light isn't the villain some headlines make it out to be, it does affect how our eyes age, how they strain, and how quickly they fatigue. So here's the question. When was the last time you gave your eyes a break, not just by closing them, but by feeding them the nutrients that protect them from that exposure? If the answer is I don't know, don't worry. Most people say the same. That's why this video isn't about guilt, it's about guidance. Because the next fruit we're covering, it's rich in compounds that act like natural sunglasses for your eyes, filtering out that digital stress and helping your retinas recover faster. You don't have to throw away your devices. Just give your eyes the tools to keep up. Ready to learn how? Let's go deeper. Let us talk about what your audience sees while your voice is speaking, because that S just as important as the words themselves. If your video is filled with static slides, AI avatars, or generic fruit pictures sitting on white backgrounds, people will click away within seconds. But imagine this instead. A close-up of blueberries being rinsed under cool water. Sunlight glinting off each one like a jewel. Cut to a woman in her 70s slicing strawberries in her kitchen. The counter neat, the light warm, the fruit glistening on a ceramic plate. Then maybe a gentle pan across a garden where rose hips grow wild on a bush, their bright orange-red pods shining under a blue sky. This is the kind of b-roll that tells a story without words, and it doesn't require a big studio budget, just intention. Your viewers aren't watching this to be lectured. They want to see themselves in the scenes. A man in his 60s adding chia seeds to yogurt. A quiet morning smoothie made with dragon fruit and almond milk. Real people, real hands, real kitchens. That's how you beat the AI-generated comments, because real visuals feel like life, not like code. Give your editor clear direction. No cheesy stock footage, no lifeless animations, no robotic pans. Use warmth, use detail, use scenes that show age as vibrant, not faded. So when your visuals respect your audience's experience, they'll feel it tanned, they'll stay. Now while your audience is watching and listening, let's give their eyes something valuable to read. But not in a cluttered way. Use on-screen text that's helpful, elegant, and timed just right. Imagine this. While you're talking about how strawberries are rich in vitamin C and anthocyanins, a small, clean box appears in the corner of the screen. Did you know? It's just 8 strawberries contain more vitamin C than an orange? That kind of text sticks. Or when you're mentioning the effect of oxidative stress on aging eyes, have a simple stat appear. Oxidative stress is one of the top contributors to age-related vision decline. Don't throw in citations just to sound smart. Use them to build trust. On-screen callouts also break up the video and keep viewers visually engaged. You can also use quick tip boxes like, tip, add frozen blueberries to your oatmeal for an antioxidant boost. These little cues give the brain a dopamine hit and make the video feel like it is packed with value. And because they're visual, they reach viewers who may be half watching or watching on mute. Keep the font large enough to read on mobile, Use subtle animations, not jarring ones, and make sure the colors fit your brand or tone. These touches may seem small, but they're what separate a video that gets skipped from one that gets shared. Let me say this loud and clear. Your audience wants to see themselves in your video, not just generic models, not just someone 30 years younger doing yoga in a field. They want to see real people aged 50, 60, 70, and beyond, living well, smiling confidently, enjoying fruit, enjoying movement, enjoying life. If your video only shows food or animations, it's missing the most powerful visual of all: people. Start with scenes of a couple in their 70s sharing a smoothie on their porch. A woman in her 80s laughing as she prepares a dragon fruit bowl with her granddaughter. A man in his 60s reading the newspaper by a window. Strong, natural light. A bowl of berries beside his coffee mug. These moments don't just support your script, they amplify it. Because what you're selling isn't just information, it's hope. It's quality of life. It's the feeling of being alive and capable. Make sure your video reflects the dignity, joy, and beauty of aging well. Avoid using only one race, one gender, or one style of living. Show urban seniors, rural seniors, those with walkers, those doing light gardening, those laughing at a family table. Diversity here isn't a checkbox, it's a mirror. And when viewers see themselves reflected back, they don't click away. They lean in. They believe you. If your video sounds like it was written and read by a bot, people will call you out in the comments within seconds, and they won't be wrong. One of the fastest ways to kill trust is using stiff, flat, lifeless narration. But here's the good news. You don't need a Hollywood voice. You need a human voice. Someone who stumbles a little, who laughs at their own words, who sounds like they're talking to a friend, not reading a sales pitch. If you're doing the voiceover yourself, relax your pace. Smile as you read. Picture your audience in front of your neighbor, your uncle, your mom. If you're hiring a voice actor, ask for warmth, not polish. Because your audience doesn't want perfection, they want connection. And when it comes to visuals, throw the AI slideshow template in the trash. Don't use auto-cut transitions, generic morphs, or 15-second title screens. Instead, keep the pacing dynamic. New visual every 5 to 7 seconds, light zooms, natural movement. And always give space between key points, so the viewer has time to feel what's being said. If your video feels human, no one will ever say a generated BS again. They'll say, "I felt like you were talking to me." That's the highest compliment in this game, and the key to real retention. Here's the part nobody talks about, but it might be the difference between a video people finish and one they forget. Music. Not loud, not distracting, not synthetic plucking sounds that loop every 8 seconds. I'm talking about real, gentle, emotionally resonant background music that moves with your message. Imagine a soft acoustic piano playing as you talk about your father's struggles with night vision. Imagine a light string melody under a tip about cherimoya and collagen. Music sets the emotional tone, and your audience, especially those over 60, have lived enough life to feel when something is real or phony. Choose music that respects their age and their intelligence. Avoid cartoonish jingles or beats that sound like corporate ads. Go for cinematic but simple. Little cello under a personal story. A soft synth pad under a health tip. Use volume automation. Bring the music down gently when the voice rises for impact. Let it swell subtly during transitions. And change the track slightly every few minutes to keep things fresh. Don't just slap on royalty-free loops, cure it like a soundtrack. Because when the words, the voice, the visuals, and the music all move together, your video doesn't feel like content. It feels like care. And that's what keeps viewers coming back for more. 16. Write like a documentary meets lifestyle show. The secret to keeping your audience watching ISN. In having the flashiest edits or the most high-tech setup at S in how you speak. Your script should feel like a documentary with a heart, wrapped in a lifestyle show they'd actually want to live. That means no dry lectures, no robotic bullet points, and absolutely no over-the-top shouting. You read not here to sound like a science textbook or a morning infomercial. You read here to sound like someone who has seen enough life to understand what matters. So say it plainly. Say it with wonder. Say it like you're rediscovering these truths right alongside your viewer. Use phrases like, "You might not believe this," or "I didn't expect this either," because those open the door to curiosity without arrogance. When you introduce a fruit, don't just list its vitamins, show the fruit. Describe the color, the smell, the taste. Make it feel like something they want to try, not something they should try. And when you talk about health, do it like someone who knows what it's like to worry, to wonder, to hope for small wins. Because if your video feels like a story someone can step into, it's not just a lecture to sit through, then you're doing more than delivering information. You're giving people a reason to care. And that's when real change starts. Let's be honest. Sure, viewers are smart. They've lived through diet fads, health scams, and more than a few late-night TV ads promising miracles in a bottle. So when they hear words like superfood or magic cure, their guard goes up, and it should, because most of the time, those words are used to oversell and underdeliver. That's why in this video, we drop the hype and stick to the truth. We don't call dragon fruit a miracle. We say it's rich in antioxidants like beta-carotene and vitamin C nutrients your eyes actually use to protect against oxidative stress. We don't call rose hip a magic bullet. We say it's incredibly high in natural vitamin C, which supports collagen, blood flow, and eye tissue integrity, especially in aging bodies. That's not hype, that's biology. That's science. That's what your viewers deserve. Because when you ground your language in respect and realism, something powerful happens. People trust you. When people trust you, they stay. They share. They act. So instead of saying miracle, say daily helper. Instead of superfood, say nutrient dense. Speak like someone who's walked the walk, not just read the headlines. Okay, that's how you build a channel. People come back to not for hype, but for help. Let's talk about how you say the words, because tone matters just as much as content. If you rush through your script like a podcast trying to squeeze into 60 seconds, you'll lose your viewers by minute 2. And if you drone on like a robot reading a teleprompter, they'll click away even faster. So here's what works. Slow down. Breathe. Pause after every powerful point. Let your voice rise gently when you're excited, and soften when you're being personal. Don't just say something, feel it. For example, when you talk about your father struggling to read the road signs at night, let your voice hold the silence for a beat. Let the viewer feel that moment. And when you introduce a fruit that supports eye health, smile with your voice. Say the name with warmth, with intrigue, with color. These little shifts in pacing and tone make all the difference. Because your audience, especially older viewers, aren't multitasking, they're listening. And when your voice carries emotion, they don't just process your words, they remember them. So go slow, be human, be real. Scripts spoken with care can change lives far more than one read like a checklist. Speak like someone who cares, because you do aren't. That's what makes them care too. As you near the end of your video, here's the moment that defines everything. How you leave your viewer feeling. Do you scare them with worst-case scenarios? Do you lift them up with hope and action? Because here's the truth, your viewer may already be feeling fear. Maybe they've been told their eyesight is declining and there's nothing they can do. Maybe they've started feeling isolated, frustrated, or dependent. But what you say now can flip that story. Remind them, it's not too late. The body still responds. The eyes still listen. Vision can still be supported, gently, naturally, with small daily choices. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being aware. It's about remembering that age, ISNT, a weakness it. S, a wisdom that gives you the power to act. So speak directly to them. You've come this far. You've seen this much life. And your eyes still deserve your care, your protection, and your love. Leave them with that strength, that peace, that belief. When you close with empowerment, they don't just remember your video, they remember how it made them feel. And that's what brings them back. Now it's time to invite them to act, but not with pressure, not with a gimmick, and not just for the algorithm. Do it from the heart. Say something like, if this video opened your eyes to something new, something worth trying, let us know in the comments with the words, I commit to protecting my eyes. That single sentence starts a movement. It makes the viewer feel part of something, not just a spectator. Then invite them to like the video, not because it helps you, but because it helps others see it too. And if they know someone, a spouse, a sibling, a friend who's quietly struggling with vision, encourage them to share it. Remind them that sharing knowledge is care. You can even close with a smile in your voice and say, we're in this together, and your best years of vision are still ahead. That's a call to action that isn't about clicks. It's about connection. And when your CTA has heart, people respond with heart. That's how videos go from views to value, from content to community.